Every system has a flaw. Every wall we build to keep danger out can be climbed. And sometimes the one who breaks in isn't the villain. He's the one trying to save us. In 2017, the world faced something it wasn't ready for. A digital virus, spreading faster than any human disease ever could. Hospitals, airports, governments, one by one, screens went black. The WannaCry ransomware has now infected systems in over 150 countries. Narrator interrupting WannaCry. A name that would haunt the internet for years. And in the middle of that chaos, there was him. A hacker no one had ever heard of. An anonymous coder who stumbled upon a kill switch by accident. They called him malware tech. But behind the screen was a 22-year-old boy, living in a small apartment by the sea. He didn't wear a cape. He didn't have a team. Just a laptop. And the instinct to do what no one else dared. Fight back. I just saw the code, and something didn't add up. I wasn't trying to be a hero. But in that moment, when millions of computers were locked, and the internet itself seemed to be collapsing, this one anonymous hacker pressed a few keys, descends, and stopped the attack cold. The hacker who saved the internet. But the story didn't end there. Because saving the world online comes at a price offline. Chapter 1. The origins. Before he was the hacker who saved the internet, he was just Marcus. A quiet kid from a small seaside town in England, obsessed with computers and allergic to the ordinary. While other kids played football after school, Marcus spent his evenings buried in code, chat rooms, forums, the digital underground. The internet wasn't just a tool, it was his home. Marcus. I wasn't really good at making friends in real life. But online, I could talk to anyone. Hackers, programmers, people way older than me. It was like another world, but that world was dangerous. A place where curiosity blurred into crime, and where one wrong command could change your life. As a teenager, Marcus experimented. He learned how systems worked and how they broke. To him, it was never about money. It was about mastery, control, understanding the digital pulse of a connected world. The mid-2000s were the golden age of the hacker underground, a time when online legends were born and governments were starting to pay attention. Cybersecurity expert. These were self-taught geniuses, teenagers who could outthink national agencies. They weren't criminals in their own eyes, they were explorers. Marcus built a reputation online, a quiet coder with an uncanny ability to dissect malware, understanding its logic faster than most professionals. Marcus. I just liked figuring out how things worked. I'd take apart malicious code, the same way a kid takes apart a toy car. But beneath that, brilliance was something darker, because the more he explored, the more he saw what the internet was becoming. A battlefield. Cybercrime was evolving, from prank viruses to digital warfare. And Marcus, now in his 20s, was standing right in the middle of it. He wasn't part of a company. He didn't work for a government. He was just one man, tracking malware for fun, writing about it on a small blog called. It wasn't famous. It wasn't glamorous. But the things he discovered there would soon shake the entire world. Because in 2017, Marcus stumbled upon something strange. A new ransomware spreading across networks at terrifying speed. Encrypted, ruthless. It didn't just steal. It held your entire system hostage. Marcus. At first, I thought it was another small malware sample. Just something to analyze and blog about. But then, it started spreading everywhere. Hospitals in the UK shut down. Banks went dark. Entire governments were paralyzed. This was no ordinary virus. This was WannaCry. And somewhere in his small coastal apartment, Marcus Hutchins sat at his computer, watching the world burn through his screen. Chapter 2. The Kill Switch. May 12, 2017. The world woke up to a digital apocalypse. Screens flashed warnings, systems locked, and the virus kept spreading. News reporter, WannaCry, ransomware has crippled hospitals in the UK, banks in Europe, and government offices worldwide. Authorities are scrambling to contain it amid the chaos. Marcus Hutchins, a 22-year-old security researcher, noticed something strange. A single domain embedded in the malware's code. It didn't seem functional, yet instinct screamed at him to check it. Marcus, at first I thought it was just a random string of text, but something about it didn't feel right. So I registered the domain, and that's when it happened. Without realizing it, Marcus had flipped the switch. The malware stopped in its tracks. Hospitals could function again. Airlines could process passengers. Banks could open their doors. News reporter, a 22-year-old cybersecurity researcher, has inadvertently stopped a global ransomware attack. He didn't seek fame. He didn't expect recognition. All he did was follow his instincts. The kill switch, a failsafe buried in the virus by its unknown creators, was designed to shut it down only under certain conditions. Marcus stumbled upon it by accident. By pressing a few keys, he saved millions of people from a digital disaster. Cybersecurity expert. It was unprecedented. Most ransomware spreads uncontrollably. This one could have shut down critical infrastructure for weeks. Marcus literally stopped it in real time, before the world realized what was happening. But in the world of cybersecurity, every light attracts shadows. Because while he was being celebrated online, some in the authorities were watching him too. Months after saving the world, Marcus boarded a flight to Las Vegas. DEF CON, the world's largest hacker conference, awaited him. It should have been a celebration of talent. Instead, federal agents were ready. FBI agent Marcus Hutchins, you're under arrest for creating and distributing malware. The charges: Kronos, a banking Trojan, he wrote years earlier. The irony was bitter. The man who stopped a global catastrophe was now facing decades in prison for his teenage experiments. Marcus, I wasn't trying to be a hero. I wasn't trying to hurt anyone. I just wanted to understand how the code worked. The cybersecurity world was divided. Was he a savior, or a criminal, a prodigy, or a hacker who had gone too far? In just a few keystrokes, he had altered the course of the internet. But the world had rules, and those rules didn't forgive accidental heroes. Chapter 3 is where the story turns, where heroism collides with consequence, and the true cost of saving the world becomes clear. Chapter 3, the price of heroism. Months after stopping one of the world's largest cyber attacks, Marcus Hutchins faced his greatest challenge. Not malware, but the law. The charges: Kronos, a banking Trojan he allegedly created years before. The prosecution claimed he sold it to criminals. He could face decades behind bars. Lawyer, Mr. Hutchins has shown remorse and cooperation, but his prior actions put countless people at risk. The irony was stark. The man who saved millions from a global digital disaster was now being tried as a cyber criminal. The world debated, was he a hero, or a hacker who had gone too far? In cybersecurity circles, admiration and skepticism collided. Cybersecurity expert Marcus Hutchins became a symbol of duality. The line between genius and crime, between heroism and recklessness, is razor thin in the digital age. For Marcus, the stakes were more than legal. They were moral. He had acted out of instinct, curiosity, and conscience. And now he had to face the consequences of choices he made as a teenager. For Marcus, the stakes were more than legal. They were moral. He had acted out of instinct, curiosity, and conscience. And now he had to face the consequences of choices he made as a teenager. The trial became a study in contrasts. A young man who once explored malware as a hobby versus the accidental savior who stopped a global catastrophe. I wasn't looking to be famous. I didn't want to be a hero. I just saw a problem, and I fixed it. In 2019, after 2 years of uncertainty, the court ruled. Time served. Marcus was free. But the experience left scars, personal, emotional, and professional. Today, Marcus lives a quiet life. He continues to work in cybersecurity, but under a different name, away from fame, away from the chaos he once helped prevent. Some heroes wear masks. Some heroes remain anonymous. Marcus Hutchins never sought recognition, and yet, without him, the world might have faced an unimaginable disaster. In the digital age, morality is tested in lines of code. And courage isn't measured in medals, it's measured in keystrokes. One accidental hero, millions saved, and a lesson for the world. Sometimes, the most important battles aren't fought in armies, but in silence, in shadows, behind a screen, where one person with the right instincts can change everything. In a world dominated by chaos and code, it wasn't a government, it wasn't a corporation that saved us all. It was a kid with a conscience and a keyboard, the hacker who saved the internet.